what you've built with how you brought an art gallery into the salon. I go back to it's community. It's not just you go there for a haircut. You go there to hang out.
Yeah.
You know?
Me wanting to open my own salon solidified in LA. I went out there to work in the film industry, and I wanted to do set design and totally change careers, and ended up trying that, realizing like it was a little too late in the game for me. Fell back in love with my industry, but I was like, I got to do it different. I got to do this different. I know so many artists that are just creating art, but they're not showing anyone.
So is that your art?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's to me, it sounds like it. Hey, what's going on, friends? Jason here with the Love Local Chicagoland Podcast. Welcome back. I'm super excited to introduce to you today Cassie Hamel of Little Broken Things, my friends. They have two salons here in the Chicagoland area, one down in the city and one new to Palatine, my friends. She is bringing the art of getting your haircut, which I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about, but I do know it's about community. And she's also putting an art gallery into what she's doing as well, again, to create community and to be able to bring people together here locally. So I know I'm super excited. She's in Palatine and she's a part of our community, but I'm really excited for you to get to know her. So enough of me talking. Let me introduce you to Cassie. Cassie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to jam out. Like, I think you're the first West Coast person I've, at least with the West Coast vibe, that I've gotten to interview like in the Midwest. And I got a little bit of that West Coast in me too, because I lived in Las Vegas for a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a good conversation, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
have fun.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's tell people a little bit about yourself. You're a creative soul. You live here locally, but tell people what you want them to know about you.
Well, I guess I've been in the hair industry for 20 years-ish. Yeah, 20 years. Starting pretty much out of high school. I got my first salon job was at 16. I couldn't even drive yet. I remember that. And then decided to go to beauty school. And I just fell in love with everything about it. It was just fun. It changed often, which I liked. Mm-hmm. There was always something new to learn and do, and get to work with a lot of different people. I've always been creative. I've never called myself an artist because I don't like paint. I don't have like a medium, I guess, but I was into sewing. Like, I almost wanted to go to fashion design school. Like, I thought about it, but I didn't want to. I don't know why I shifted towards hair more, but design was always of interest to me. So I took every art class I could take, ceramics and drawing and stuff like that. So I guess I'm just rolled it all into one and eventually became an entrepreneur, which is kind of all those things, like design and creativity, but then also people and networking and I don't know.
It's we haven't known each other that long, but I feel like I captures people's vibes, people's aura pretty quick, and it's there's for you what I've captured is like you're saying it's not like you never called yourself an artist, you didn't paint, but like it's art everywhere, like because it's art is expression at the end of the day, right? And you have found a way with what you've done to bring expression to life, obviously through hair, but then also how you're adding that art gallery piece in, which to me I think is super unique because you're bringing people together. Where do you think like that love came from? Like, what is it? Just like part of your makeup, your DNA, or is it something that you could look back to like really triggered that passion
of like bringing people together?
Yeah, and
I think just there are certain things that I guess know that I'm good at, that I can use that I've learned how to use to like lift people. How do I say this? Like what they're good at.
Yeah.
Like I know how to lift other people up to show what they're good at, because so many people are good at so many things. Like I know so many artists that are just creating art, but they're not showing anyone.
So is that your art?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's to me, it sounds like it.
But I have no problem. Like, I have a harder time doing things with myself, like putting myself in the spotlight. Like, this is a big deal for me, doing this even. Yeah. But for other people, it's way more comfortable. For me, if I'm like, dude, look how sick this artist is. Let me put all their stuff on my wall. You should buy it. And like, talking them up. And I don't know. I've just always been like that. Like, bringing people together is something that brings a lot of joy for me.
Yeah, I this is my opinion, and I think others will agree. I think that is an art, though. Bringing people together, that's your skill. You know, you don't have to always be the one up front.
Yeah.
But to be, you know, in hip hop music, to be the Dr. Dre behind the scenes,
right.
to getting people up front, there's fulfillment in that, and there's purpose in that. You know, I even look at, as we build this, like, people think I'm the one out front. I'm like, well, you just don't see the whole picture like I see it. I'm just starting, but I look at it myself, and I look at us as Love Local as like the Dr. Dre. It's about bringing those other artists in, those other creators.
Right.
And that's maybe one of the reasons why we gel is I think there's similarities, and that's kind of both of our styles of art, is like bringing people together, different genres, different things, but there's value in bringing people together over things that they agree on, you know, and I agree on it, enjoy together those commonalities, right? So you lived in California, you lived in Nashville, right? Mm-hmm. That had to, be some great experiences. And I, living out in Vegas and visiting California, I know it's a different culture. Obviously going to Nashville, although I usually don't remember after Nashville, I know it's a different culture as well. But how do you think that's helped shape your business and your community?
Huge. I mean, I had the idea for me wanting to open my own salon solidified in LA, because I was like, okay, I can't work at salons anymore. Like, I worked at I lived there for 3.5 years, I think. And I worked at like 7 different places. Like, I could not find I was like, this sucks. Like, couldn't find my spot, but I was.
Why was that? Just
it was
the vibes. You saw something different more.
It was honestly, it was like the people that I worked with. It was like the way that people were running the businesses. I was just like, why are you doing this? Like, you don't enjoy it. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
I loved the people I worked with. Like, I met some like really great people. I loved my clients. I was making a ton of money because I could charge whatever and people would pay it. Yeah, it was crazy. I did a ton of color. I learned a lot. Like, I took all these color classes and I got like really in the groove of color. And but yeah, it was like this. It would be like this crazy awesome location. Like, oh, this location's great and the salon is great, but these owners don't care. They don't want to be here. They're here to just like, I don't know what they're to do 3 haircuts and then bitch about being here.
Sure.
And so I was picking up on like what I liked and what was working, and looking at things like location and aesthetic and stuff like that, and what people were coming in for. And also LA is the city of like dream big, you know? I went out there to work in the film industry, and I wanted to do set design and totally change careers, and ended up trying that, realizing like it was a little too late in the game for me, fell back in love with my industry. But I was like, I got to do it different. I got to do this different. And I was just like started like blueprinting like in my mind, like, I could do this and I want to do this, and like I can make all these things. And then we left LA, I went to Nashville, and I ended up working at this barbershop called Scouts. And when I worked there, I worked at the first location. They were opening their second. I was the first manager like of the whole company. So they didn't really know what they were doing. And neither did I, because it was my first time managing 2 women owners. And now they have like, I don't even know, like 9 locations.
Oh, wow.
Like, they just like blew up. And that's when I learned about the importance of community, because the owners there were and still are like so good. Every like fiber of that business was like ingrained in the community. They had merch. That was the first time I ever saw that done in a way that was like authentic and inspiring, and not just like, we're trying to make money off t-shirts, you know? Like, it was everything was curated, and it had a vibe. And we served beer, and it was like beer on tap from like the tap room around the corner, you know, like everything was very neighborhood oriented. And it felt like, I was like, yeah, like this is how you should do it. If you're going to do it, this is how you should do it.
So you should do any business.
Yeah.
Like, make people feel like they belong, and they'll keep coming back.
It was
right?
awesome. It was like, have a beer while you wait. What a simple concept. And then I was like, I have to go home. Yeah. Like, I got to do this now that I got it.
It's awesome.
But I got to go home and do it, because that's where my people are. And so that's what we did.
That's beautiful.
We moved back home.
You moved back home, and then your first one that you opened up here was in the city, right?
Yep.
So talk to us a little bit about that experience, because that's like, you kind of got punched in your teeth right away from that. But
I think
talk to us.
I moved too quickly And I think that was like the brake pedal. But I opened we moved back to Chicago in 2016. In 2017, I opened. So it was like 9 months I worked in a salon, built clientele from nothing because I was just moving back after being gone for a couple of years. And I was like, okay, cool, let's go. I'm ready. Like, let's do it. I think it was like 6 weeks from when I signed the lease to when we opened, because sometimes you'll sign a lease and they'll give you, okay, 3 months to renovate or build it out or whatever. My landlord did not do that. They were just like, pay rent.
Yeah, I need my money.
Yeah. And it was a salon before, so that part was lucky. And my dad's a plumber, so he was able to help with the shampoo bowl part, which is usually the most expensive and time consuming. So we painted. I threw some stations in, painted, did all that. 6 weeks were open. And then we were open for, I think it was 8 weeks. And I got a call from my landlord's son. There had been a fire. They didn't know what caused it yet. So I had to go down there. And he was like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, I remember him saying that. And I was like, how is a fire ever not a big deal, first of all? And there were apartments above us. So I was like, this could be serious. Like, so we went down there, and it was a whole, people outside, there's fire trucks. Like, it was crazy. The windows were broken. The interior was all black. The fire department, I didn't know this until this experience, but it was so smoky, they break all the windows to get the smoke out. And then they start bashing holes in the walls to look for electrical, like the wiring, to see where the fire, if there's, I don't know, fire in the walls. I don't know what it is. But so that's what I'm seeing on top of everything being black. And like all my plants are everything's knocked everywhere.
It's no big deal. It's no big deal.
No, it's not a big deal. So I'm just like, what do I do? Like, what happens right now? Like, because it didn't even feel like my business anymore. You know, it was just like, I mean, I still had a computer and a register and like all this stuff. And I'm like, I can't take anything out of here because it's all covered in like smoke, right, like smoke, soot, which is like, you can't just clean it. Like, that was another thing I learned. Like, all of that stuff had to be trashed. I think we kept like the desk. We because it was huge. We couldn't even get it out. The metal things we kept, like the Craftsman, but everything else, anything with any porosity had to go.
Yeah, there's like a different texture on it all in general, right?
Yeah, and you can't get it out. It's like oily soot, gross. So that was just like, cool. I don't know what to do. Like, I literally don't know what my next step is. Like, where do I go from right now? And I think I talked to like an insurance person that was there and called my insurance, just straight to insurance, because I'm like, okay, what do I do? And then they hook you up with like fire people that help you if you want to clean stuff, because I had someone's art on the wall. Like, how do you replace that? How do you put a number on that? So it was 11 months of dealing with that, rebuilding and insurance and all of that until I could open again. Wow. So my thing was like, I need to keep my clients. So I happened to meet this person who was renting a suite and had 2 days open that I could rent their chair from them and just keep doing my clients. And I was just like trying to do that and till we could move back in. And then we did it all over again, rebuilt the whole shop out. I had an opening party again. I was just like, all right, let's try this again.
Yeah, there's a grit there.
There we go.
Grit that comes with that, that not everybody's built to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and I didn't know if I was supposed to keep doing it, to be honest. I mean, I was very much like, okay.
I've been there.
Is this a sign? But then also, I couldn't go back to working in a salon. It was like I had already I had closed all these doors, and I was like, I can't go back. And now I'm renting in a suite, and I was like, I don't like this. This is completely uninspiring. There's no community. So I was like, I just got to keep trying. I got to go back.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Still there.
So you're still going.
Still going.
Obviously, you came back, and you came back strong because you're able to not only keep that location going, but you're maybe following after your friend's footsteps down in Nashville, opening more locations. Maybe not that many, but at least you opened another one.
I don't know how they've done that many. I'm like, hats off, man.
It's a lot of work, right? I talk about that with our team too. If we talk about expanding, I'm like, it's hard now. What do you think it's going to be like then, right?
Yeah.
But you are in Palatine. So talk to us about your Palatine location.
We just opened in September. It's great. I love it. Like we've hosted a handful of events already in the community of Palatine, like the chamber. There's so many like little downtown Palatine Business Association, women entrepreneur business. Like there's so many little groups, and I'm just like signing up for all of them. And there's so much going on all the time that I'm just like, this is awesome. Like in the city, there's so much going on all the time, but it's like hard to be a part of it, because there's so much going on all the time. So you're just like, which way do I go? But it's like in Palatine, I feel like I could just focus on Palatine. Like it's kind of a relief. Like it's kind of like, this is easy, even though it's like busy all the time, but it's busy doing stuff I really enjoy.
Yeah, you're connecting people, you're bringing people together, and I love what you've built with how you brought art, an art gallery into the salon. I go back to its community. It's not just you go there for a haircut; you go there to hang out.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that part of the vision and why that's so important for you as you build your business and your community to have them together.
I think I just wanted to be around creative people, and hairstylists are creative people. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they don't know it, or they know it, but they don't know what to do with it, I guess, besides hair. I do hair. I'm creative. I do hair. So I wanted to pull that out of stylists and be like, no, actually you are an artist, and actually you should make art if that's what you do. And almost every stylist I have on either team makes art. Like it's like 100% like accuracy, when
you think of art, for those that maybe not think in that perspective, it's a craftsmanship at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Especially with what you're talking about. Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to be around art. I figured I'm paying rent on this space. Why not do more with it? We can't be open 24 hours. So it gives you a space to get your team to hang out outside of work, hosting events, art events. You get artists in the door and they bring people. It was also a way to just have more people involved in what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And even naming it Little Broken Things, I wanted it to not sound like a salon. I wanted it to sound like, what is that place, Mm-hmm. And it's funny, at our first location, we used to have people come in with broken things, like literally, and be like, "Can you fix this?" And
That's
I'm like,
funny.
"Oh no, can't."
Funny. So sorry, it's little and it's broken. But
it's not literal, like. But yeah, I just wanted I wanted to support artists. I wanted to look at new art all the time, and I was like, it's a way to just meet people. Like I think being a hairstylist, I knew how to be social as a hairstylist by sitting behind a chair and doing your hair. And so when I became a salon owner and I stepped away from doing hair more, I was like, well, I still want to be in the community and network. So I sort of used the whole business to do that,
Yeah, and you're like in business development role really for your business as you go out and connect with the community. I want to circle back to the name. We didn't really talk about that, but how did the name come together? Like, I like that you didn't go like any normal salon. Like you'll make everybody know that that's a salon over time because of how you make people feel when they come in. But where did it come from? How did it come together?
I wanted to do something with broken, based on a Charles Bukowski poem. I got really into Bukowski when I lived in LA. I read like everything of him, and like he's long dead now, but he lived in like Koreatown-ish, like East Hollywood area, which is where we first lived. And I just was like really into channeling him. Like I felt, I could feel like his, you put yourself in where they were and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, I like feel what Bukowski felt or whatever.
Sure.
But he had a poem
that's what makes art beautiful. It was right there.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. And he's was always talking about being a broken person, but there was a line in this poem that said something about, now I can't remember it, of course, but love breaking your bones, like, and it breaks your bones. And I was like, man, that's such a cool, like, broken bones. I was like, something with broken. And then I started making jewelry, actually, before the salon. I think it was before the salon, like, while I was dreaming up the logo and the ideas and everything. And I called it Little Broken Things. It was my Etsy page, because I was taking, like, broken watch parts and buttons and making jewelry out of it. So it was literal. And then when I went to do the salon name, I was like, I really like this little broken things. And I was like, but I feel like it's too long. And my husband was like, it's not. Like, just use it. That makes sense. Like, you already, like, it's like an evolution of the brand you're already building.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to do it.
It's super symbolic. Like, we are broken as humans, right? I don't know much about Bukowski, but we're all broken. We're all,
as humans,
part of the ride.
Our hair is broken. We'll fix it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we're all broken. But the little thing is, like, if I'm just totally making this up as an artist now, but like us as we're all broken, and us all are little things, but coming together, like, there's some beauty in that, right? Yeah. In that community. So, I don't know. Thanks for sharing.
It ended up making a lot of, like, in a lot of directions. And then our mural at the first shop is Bukowski.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So it's, when we were talking for the prep, I love your philosophy. You said perspective is everything. How has that helped you shape your business and community with that outlook?
Perspective. I think just I'm really big on not comparing. You know, our industry, the hair industry, can be a bit competitive and, like, not as supportive of one another. Like, it's like. Those are my clients. Like there's
competition.
Plenty. Yeah, like
realtors.
there's enough people to go. Like, we'll all have clients, and I feel like I don't. My perspective is just on what I'm doing, you know, and what I'm building, and I really try to just hold on to any positive conversation I have with anyone. Anytime I'm at the Palatine shop, someone just walks in and we end up talking for 45 minutes. Stranger I never met before, but they came in because they heard about us and they have an idea of what we stand for. We were just on some Facebook page for this moms group wanted to put up signs of like humanity, you know, like love one another, these messages of positivity that these kids made. And our name got brought up in some Facebook group, like, oh, they'll hang them up. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's a win for me for the whole week. Yeah. That somebody knows our name and knows that we would support positive messages, you know? Yeah. Like, so.
We need more of that.
Yeah. And I met this stranger and I just had this like super deep conversation with her right off the bat, and it was very fulfilling. And I don't know, I just try to keep things in that, you know. It can be hard, though. It can be hard to do that when you're not that being an entrepreneur is competitive, but there's a level of like, it's a little easy to look over and see what somebody else is doing. Yeah, but if you're right, though, this is an abundant world. And if each of us, you just talked about, you created what you see, what you feel. Others are coming into that space. You didn't create it for others. You create for what you saw it could be of value. To me, I think as an artist, that's like the most powerful thing to do, is to create art for ourselves. If we truly make art for ourselves, that's going to appeal to other people. Right.
When you make it truly for yourself, for other people, and you build in authentic relationships, that community becomes abundant. And you're not going to be in competition with another salon or another stylist or those things, because that's your people.
Right.
So just be you is what I'm trying to say. Like, overall, like everybody's their own niche. So,
and not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to be in charge of all the shit I'm in charge of. You know what I mean? Like, some people just want to show up and hang out and be part of something. Yeah. Cool. Come on in. Like, I'll do the work. That's fine.
Yeah, and I'll take care of you as you do it too. So that's awesome. So your salon is more than just a place for community. Your salon is more than just a place for hair. It's a community. We've stressed that over and over throughout this conversation. Keep this short, because I feel like we kind of went through this. If you had to give me like 2 sentences, how do you create, or 2 to 3 sentences, how do you create an environment where people could be themselves? Like, what's your vibe when you hear that question? What's your goal with it?
I think just starting with authenticity. Like,
not trying to be something you're not.
Yeah, like if you lead with that, it's contagious, you know, like, I just think that, I just think that rephrase. Can you tell me the question again? I'm losing it.
So yeah, no, that's okay. It's how do you create an environment where people could truly be themselves?
Yeah. I mean, just being yourself, and also just allowing it to happen. Because I think a lot of times it could be a marketing thing of like, oh yeah, like it's all inclusive, or it's this or it's that, but like just being that.
Yeah.
Like, so everyone that comes in, they feel welcomed. It's not a different hello for different people, or a different experience for different people. I guess consistency would be a part of that too.
Yeah.
Keeping things, you know, if you're going to serve coffee, there's always coffee. If there, you know, it's like all these little things go into the environment, the temperature, the music that's playing, the volume of the music.
It's how you make people feel, right?
Yeah.
And that's why people come back, because you make them feel a certain way.
And if you have time, talk to them a little bit longer. You know, I noticed that too. A lot of people come in and they kind of just want to hang out and chat. And we're like, yeah, hang out and chat. But if you're going to say hang out and chat, then hang out and chat.
Yeah.
You know, if you have time, if you have the time to do it, you should.
Yeah, totally. It goes out like find your people. At the end of the day, but it goes back to, if you didn't set that tone with from an artist perspective of like, this is what we're going to create, and with an authentic approach, it's really hard to, if you didn't do that, you're not here. If that makes sense. You know, you kind of had to go there before you went here. So it's great. You obviously can't do this alone, and a big part of when we talked about your differentiators, it's really how you make your stylists feel. You're about uplifting them. You're about showcasing them. You're about showcasing their art within your brand. Tell me why that's important for you.
Oh man, I think that's like the biggest part of all of it is, like when I first opened, I had an idea of what I wanted. Everything, even the way that I wrote out everything was like, this is what we want to be. This is what we hope to be, because it was just me. So I was like, I can only do what I can do. I'm just one person. But it wasn't until stylists started coming in and they started creating their art, and I was like, holy shit, like these people are crazy talented and doing like these crazy color projects that
do you guys like collaborate off each other? Like, oh, that was cool, I never saw that, and kind of like learn from that too?
For sure. I mean, I think the internet too is a big part of that. Like people see something and they're like, I want to do that, and then, you know, they'll do it, or they'll.
We call it rip off and deploy, R&D. Like,
make it. What is it? Steal like an artist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Austin Kleon.
Yeah. I've recently, a stylist just told me that she'll like post an inspo picture from someone else and like, I want to do this, and then she'll like get clients from that, like, oh yeah, do that to my hair. So I just started rolling with it. I was like, yeah, like we can. The fact that people were coming into my space, stylists were coming into my space, and just they felt free enough to just create. I was like, yep, like just, and then that's how it became more of like an alternative thing, because we just started doing it, just like organically happened that way.
If somebody, if one of those salons in LA had that approach, I wonder if you would have built what you've built, because that seems to be what's like super important to you from like connecting the dots, is like having a place where you, whether it's the people or it's the stylist, to come and show up as their authentic selves, and to create, and with your stylist to create how they see fit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see that in yourself, but I see that as your story unfolds. So. Yeah, thought I'd share. We're getting ready to wrap up. I have a few more questions, kind of rapid fire type stuff. Why do you think being a part of a community is important to us humans?
Oh man, it's such a simple question, right? But like such a big answer. I think that feeling connected and, I don't know, seen and heard by other people is like something that we need, like sun, you know?
Sure. Like air?
Like air, yeah.
Of it.
I don't know. I think that for me, it was like moving out to Palatine, because we moved out here like 3 years ago from Chicago. I was like, the only way I can do this is if I build a community. Like, that's it. And so that was like a big thing for me. It was like, opening a business in Palatine because I'm moving to Palatine and building my life there. And I don't want to do it alone. Like, you know, and in the suburbs, it's a little bit harder when you're in your 30s and you have a kid and you're married. It's like in all the ways it's harder to meet people. You're not in school anymore. My work is a salon that I own. So like I'm not meeting friends at work, you know. So I wanted to meet moms. I wanted to meet creative people. I wanted to meet people that are doing cool shit. And so I don't know.
That's cool.
Because we need it. We need to talk about it. I need to talk about it.
Yeah, and it's, you know, this is a very artist conversation, but it's time for artists to create. It's time for people as a whole to create, to let your voice out. Like we all have an artist within us, whether you say you are or not. Right. We're all born with certain innate gifts, right? Some are more creative than others. Some are painters. Some are conversationalists. Some are community builders. Whatever that is, there's an art to each of us. So like find your art and go in, because we need us all to be able to create with the goal of like coming together, because the world's kind of shitty right now, and as community members, it's important to support each other, especially our small businesses, because like we're each other's neighbors. You know, like that's important at the end of the day. So, going off of kind of the current times, the world is. It's crazy now. I never thought I would be alive in a revolution. I'm guessing you probably thought the same thing, but we're here. And it's important to love our neighbor and support each other. But what's your words of wisdom? With your life's experience, with your perspective, what's your words of wisdom to our community right now? People in our community right now.
Just be kind.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it. Drop the mic, not that one, but yeah.
Yeah, not this one. It's too expensive. Just be kind and leave things a little nicer than when you left them. Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like I had this apprentice once, and she, like young person, and she said like, do one more thing before you leave, like from work. Like do one more thing. I was like, oh man, if we all just did one more thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, be kind, do one more thing, get in a community.
Yeah.
I think we could probably push through this, but it's thanks for that words of wisdom. You're doing big things, and whether it's your shop down in the city or whether it's in Palatine, which we're hugely embedded in that community, you know, we're working with people all around your shop, which is for us, that's what it's about. It's my hometown too, and I think we're stronger together. We kind of have to prove that right now in this time in history, if we truly all can come together and
show
learn.
up, because when you have events and you host events and you're trying to build a community and nobody shows up, it's really hard.
It's showing up and supporting each other and helping each other, I think, is really important this time in history. And, you know, my team hears me say, let's get involved in other communities, and other communities will get involved with us. And with all of our communities joining together, we could be abundant and we could go further, faster together instead of alone. So appreciate that. So speaking of events, you got some cool stuff coming up. I know that you're excited about the future. Talk to us about that.
So every 6 weeks, we rotate out our artists. We have a wall that's dedicated to, that's our art gallery wall. And every 6 weeks we rotate. So March 1st is our artist opening for the next artist, Sips and Pips. It's tarot art, very cool stuff. March 1st, 5 to 7, it's like, you know, drinks and snacks. And we got a couple pop-up vendors as well. Everything's like upcycled is the theme. So like upcycled frames in the tarot prints. There's someone that makes upcycled like bleach. They do drawings with bleach on clothes. It's like crazy cool. We're gonna have a tarot reader. Our stylist Jenny is gonna do some tarot reading.
Nice.
And then March 14th, we're doing a sip and shop with Craft Collective, who's our neighbor. That's also 5 to 7. Kind of pop up, same thing, same vibe.
Yeah.
And then May 2nd, there's a big downtown Palatine Taste of Palatine, I think they're calling it. It's like a spring shop thing.
They've been doing that for a little bit.
Yeah, this is our first time doing it, but those are the 3 next on the horizon things I can think of. They're usually on Fridays. They're usually 5 to 7, but it's like we're always spotlighting some local maker of some kind, whether it's candles or clothes or, you know, drawings, paintings, whatever.
I love that. I love how you've embedded art into the community where people wouldn't see it to be. You know, I feel like we need more art in our community and more people creating art to tell the stories from their perspective. I think you're doing a great job, and I'm glad to have you in Palatine. It's bringing a little West Coast vibe to the town is needed. So you bring a different approach. You come from the heart, and you're I'll just say you're real as fuck, which I think is why we gel so much. Anything else you want to say to our audience before we head out?
I mean, if you want to make art, you should make art. Yeah. You know, like, don't be scared. I think that's the thing too. A lot of my artists are first time, like, oh, this is my first solo gallery, and I'm just like, cool, dude. I'm so happy to be
part of that.
To be that for you. You know, like, I think so many people get wrapped up in fear and just do it.
Let it out.
Yeah,
right?
if you want to do it, you should do it.
Yeah, that's some good words of wisdom too, right there. So if people want to find you, obviously website, but also Instagram, you're doing a lot of great things.
Yeah, we have 2 Instagrams. We have Little Broken Things and Little Broken Things Palatine. We're hiring stylists at the Palatine location right now. Little Broken Things Chicago is our website. We're on TikTok, Little Broken Things Shy. We're all over the place.
Nice.
Yeah.
So look at Little Broken Things and you're going to find you is what we're trying to say.
You're going to find us. There was actually a book, Little Broken Things, that came out around the same time that we opened. And that was kind of screwing us up a little bit. But now I think we're good.
Cool. Yeah, right? You're in it now. Now everybody's going to know Little Broken Things, especially in our surrounding community.
Yeah, they know we're not a book. So.
Yeah, you're not a book. You're a place to bring people together and they can get their hair cut.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Cool. Appreciate you being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
It means a lot. Thanks for reaching out. Honored to be able to help get your message across. And my hope is that your community continues to become abundant and just kind of make your community a little bit stronger with what you're doing. So keep creating art in your own way and bringing artists together. So appreciate you.
Thank you.
Oh, cool. My friends, Little Broken Things. I go there and I don't even have any hair, so you got to go check her out. The artist, the art gallery, I should say. It's a pretty cool spot too. Good people doing good things, my friend. I don't know about you, but we need more of that. I'm losing my voice here, but us as neighbors, us as community members, it's time to support each other. Let's help each other during these times. And through that, if we could help our small businesses as people in our community, my friends, our communities can be more vibrant because the small businesses are our neighbors and our money stays here. So support local, love local. We're stronger together, my friends. Check out Little Broken Things, whether you're in the city or in Palatine. Peace.